Hey! Oh my. So I think I owe you guys a video.
You're goddamn right.
As most of you guys know, for the past 4 weeks I was traveling and vlogging all around Asia. I was also in Dubai. I'm going to be posting all those videos after this one. But let's get down to what we came here for, which is this video. Long overdue. It's the conclusion video. If you're new on the channel, somewhere around 2 months ago, lifelong friend and vegan bodybuilder John Venus challenged me to do a 30-day vegan challenge. And the goal was to give as realistic of a transition as possible. The idea wasn't to sugarcoat anything. I mean, at the time, I was eating meat once, twice, maybe 3 times per day. I ate eggs every single day because fried eggs were my favorite food. Also, I would go out for a proper steak at a restaurant maybe 2 or 3 times per week. So I was eating a lot of meat. I also hated veggies. I thought that vegans were batshit crazy. I remember that before I did this challenge, I would just listen to John babbling on about veganism, and I was just thinking to myself, like, there's no way in hell that I'm ever gonna do this. Like, honestly, I would have never in my life thought that I'd be making this video today. But he ended up convincing me to do the 30-day vegan challenge, and it was one hell of an experience. Let me just say that if you're a meat eater, trust me, I was exactly like you, if not worse, before I did this challenge. So give this video a chance because you might actually walk away with a few ideas that you hadn't yet considered. Now I haven't only completed the challenge, I've actually stayed a vegan after the challenge. I don't actually refer to myself as a vegan because I think that everyone's too obsessed with, you know, categorizing and labeling everything.
We eating about, man, what I want to say? I want to say 40% vegan, 40% vegetarian, 10% pescatarian, and 10% processed garbage.
Like, who really gives a shit about what the exact term for your diet is? I'm the same exact person, but the only difference with me is that now I don't actually give my money to businesses that cage and work animals to death or just straight up slaughter them. I don't give these guys my money. That's the only thing that has changed. I'm still the same person. I still have the same interests, you know? I still eat a ton of junk food. If you're not a vegan, you'd actually be very surprised at how much junk food is actually vegan, whether it's accidental or not. All these cereals, Cocoa Puffs, Reese's Puffs, Captain Crunch, cookies, chips, even chicken flavored ramen noodles most of the time doesn't have any actual chicken or animal products inside of it. It's all flavoring and artificial crap. This maybe isn't what I'm supposed to be saying, but I really don't care about the health benefits. At least that's my point of view. What drives me to go vegan is just to not have to put these animals in this terrible situation to begin with. I prefer giving my money to businesses that make food out of plants or other resources as opposed to something that's alive. It doesn't really take a vegan to realize that there's something wrong with using a live animal for your personal benefit. But that's another story. For now, we're continuing with this. Overall, the challenge was one hell of a ride. I gotta say that for the first week, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I was improvising just about every plate. You know, most people do their homework, they do their research when they're changing to another kind of diet. Me, I just dove in head first. I just decided to start trying stuff, and whatever tasted good, I kept, and whatever tasted terrible, I left out. But what surprised me the most about the 30-day challenge in general was how wrong I was about everything related to veganism. I thought that the food was going to be extremely restricted. I thought that the food was going to taste like crap. You know, I really didn't like veggies going into the challenge, and I was thinking, you know, Sergi, what have you gotten yourself into? I was ready. I said, these 30 days are going to be absolute hell, and there's nothing that we can do about it, but that's what you signed up for, so that's what we're going to do. But I was shocked to see how fast my taste buds in my body adapted to it. Like, by the 7th or 8th or 9th day, I was in love with vegetables. You know, I wanted that red pepper in my sandwich. I wanted, you know, onions and tomatoes, and I wanted to mix everything together and get the flavors from everything. Like, your brain isn't stupid, and if it knows that it's going through a change, it adapts very, very quickly. So trust me when I say that if I can enjoy eating vegetables now, anyone in the world can. You know, I'm not doing veganism or anything for health benefits, but I'm accidentally becoming healthier because I'm being forced to basically eat all these vegetables and fruits. I feel healthy, I feel great, and that's not even what I'm trying to accomplish. Apart from the food and the taste, what I mean about how wrong I was about everything is the actual situation of the animal industry. Like, as a meat eater, you're kind of aware of what's going on, but you try to ignore it because, I mean, it's not very pleasant seeing cows getting stabbed or chickens with bones popping out of their skin being pushed up against a cage by other crazy chickens pecking at each other. I had never forced myself to watch these videos until I did the 30-day vegan challenge. I mean, the animal industry isn't just like messed up. The animal industry is so fucked up. I don't even know how to describe some of the stuff that you can find on the internet about what these animals have to go through just to end up on our plates. I knew it was bad, but I had no idea that it was this bad. Like, it was only until I actually watched the videos that I realized what the fuck is going on. It's like the Holocaust on steroids established globally. Wait, I understand that humans aren't animals, but wow. It's insane. I don't even know how to explain it. And it's on such a mass level that it surprises me a lot how as a society we've come to look at vegans like the crazy people. If you're watching this video, chances are you're living a fairly comfortable life. I mean, everyone has their own problems and stuff, but I don't know about you, but I sure as hell can't even begin to comprehend the emotional and physical pain that animals in this industry have to go through, because I've skateboarded for 15 years, I've broken my ass bone 2 times, I've clogged my artery, I've even been paralyzed for 30 minutes, and despite that ridiculous amount of pain, that weren't even compared to being experimented on while I'm alive, getting my stomach cut open and people wiggling around in my intestines. Like, are we out of our fucking minds? Imagine being born directly into a jail cell, having your dad murdered, they take your mom away, and then being thrown into a factory to start working, living life day after day after day with that emotional and physical stress. We all know how much of a pain in the ass it is to do anything when we're not feeling good, you know, when we're not healthy, when we have a fever, when we have a slightly messed up knee or whatever. Imagine not being given any kind of medication, being forced to continue working, and when you finally do collapse, you get thrown into a huge line waiting to be killed, and you can hear all the screams and screeches of people being killed one by one, and you know that you're slowly going next. Like, if you can come to the realization of what these animals have to go through, then suddenly not eating meat isn't a sacrifice. So during my 30-day vegan challenge, whenever I did need an actual push, I just forced myself to watch slaughter videos, and instantly, you know, I didn't even question, you know, what the hell I was doing. And obviously, the more that you inform yourself, the more reason you'll have to, you know, stay vegan. I still don't like the word vegan, but whatever. If you are one of the countless people that shared Leonardo DiCaprio's Oscar speech about saving the environment, then maybe you have more in common with vegans than you think. I'm not gonna start firing statistics at you guys because there are many other videos on YouTube that'll do that better, but changing to a plant-based diet reduces your carbon footprint by 50%. If you understand what that means, let that sink in for a second, because it's actually pretty insane. Another misconception I had about veganism going into the challenge was I thought that vegan food was gonna be a lot more expensive than, you know, the food that I was used to. You know, everything that I'm eating is extremely cheap. You know, obviously you can go to a fancy schmancy restaurant and spend a fortune, but for example, getting a gigantic plate of, you know, chickpeas with curry and vegetables and stuff will cost you under $1. But if there is one thing that I did kind of pick up on through this, you know, vegan experience, where it wasn't necessarily positive, was the amount of skeptical people that you come across, you know, including friends. It is a tiny bit frustrating, but, you know, it's not their fault. Like, if a meat eater makes fun of a vegan, but chances are it's not because they're assholes or dickheads. It's just that they're not informed and they haven't done the necessary research to understand what the hell is going on. Regardless if you're a vegan or a meat eater, you probably heard of Furious Pete, at least if you kind of know what's going on YouTube. It seems like so many vegans are against Furious Pete and stuff, and I actually have a really good relationship with Furious Pete. I don't blame him, I don't think that he's a bad person, it's just that the level of understanding is different. In my opinion, the single worst mistake that vegans make is assuming that the person that they're speaking with knows just as much as they do about the animal industry and how food lands on your plate. It's just that we all live in a different kind of reality. You know, the way a person ends up being has a lot to do with the conditions and circumstances in which they were raised. And if you don't understand those circumstances, you can't judge someone accurately based on what you see in them, you know? But anyways, I'm getting extremely off topic, so let's refresh. A point that I used to make when I did eat meat was that, you know, humans and animals eat other animals. And not too long ago, I actually went to a restaurant and I tried vegan shrimp for the first time. I kid you not, this vegan shrimp was identical to normal shrimp. But it made me realize how realistic it is and how soon it can be achieved to create identical meat and fish replacements. As humans, we have an advantage over other, you know, animals. We have extensive knowledge in chemistry and physics and biology and mathematics, etc., etc. We're able to design, create, and replicate meat without having to actually kill an animal. There are actually a few businesses like Beyond Meat and Beyond Eggs that have already started this. By buying the product, I'm giving my money to them, I'm supporting their idea, I'm supporting their movement, and that money that I spent on them did not go to the business that I would have given it to if I was still a meat eater. So this separates us from the rest of the animals. You know, a dog will eat meat, but it'll sniff another dog's butthole down the street just to kind of know what kind of dog he is. Give a penguin a cookbook and tell him to create a vegan plate. You know, biologically, a lot of these species don't have a choice. is we aren't like the rest of animals. We do have an option, because if it were the other way around and it was the human race that was trapped in this terrible system and it was up to animals, we would be praying and hoping and begging anyone to listen to us at how inhumane and crazy this entire system is. This 30-day vegan challenge that I did at first sounded like the worst decision that I was ever gonna make, but it opened my eyes to a reality that I had no idea even existed, because now I know how to do my part and put a small dent in this gigantic holocaust that's going on at the moment, and I regret nothing. If you're wondering what's going to be happening to the channel now, I'm going to be posting my travel vlog along with a couple other challenges, as well as vlogging my adventures in Barcelona. Like, share, blah blah blah, subscribe, do whatever you want, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'm really excited to continue this channel.